So what I want to share with you today is the one thing that I did that gave me the most in terms of feeling of control. And what control meant for me was I had something that was really predictable, that I was in control of, almost like I was an orchestra. I was a conductor of an orchestra, just perfect flow. Now, you're not going to believe what it is. It was the amount of rubbish my household was throwing out, and it was the reduction of that rubbish. So what I'm going to share with you quickly is why that gave me the feeling of control and what were the other things that came out of it. Also, I'll quickly share the things I did to reduce the household rubbish. Okay, step at a time. Actually, let's start right there. So what I did to reduce my household rubbish, and as I say, this is something that gave me the best feeling of control, and I know there's going to be real benefits for you. So let's go through all of those things really quickly. What I did to reduce my household rubbish was 4 key things. Firstly, I started to buy clean, which is more when you think about buying. Most of the purchasing I do week in, week out, and it might be the same where you are and with you and or your family, is buying groceries, right? Makes up a big portion of the household budget. So the 4 rules apply to the buying of groceries. Firstly, I started to buy clean, meaning things that didn't come in packaging. And by and large, that meant a lot of fruit and vegetables. With no packaging, no waste. And it meant I was starting to eat cleaner too. But I'll talk about some of the other benefits. So I started to buy a lot of things that were clean being without packaging. Then if I had to buy something with packaging, I made sure that it was recyclable. Some packaging here in my country, some of the packaging is recyclable, some of it isn't. I bought, if there were 2 products that were pretty similar and one came in recyclable packaging as opposed to the other that would go to the landfill, then I bought recyclable packaging. The third step was get access to some sort of compost or anything where you can put the organic waste. So the stuff that's inside the packaging or comes with no packaging, by and large, can go into your organic waste. So whether that's a compost bin, for me, it was a worm farm. Got a worm farm, those things, those suckers, those worms, just eat through just so much. So that significantly reduced the household waste. And the 4th rule, so only these 4 rules made a massive difference. The 4th rule was buy good quality stuff and keep the receipt, because if it doesn't last as long as it should, you take it back and you send it back through the same logistics path channel that it came to you. So you take it back to the store and the store does whatever it does with it, but send it back, almost like an anti-vote. When you buy something, you cast in a vote. If it doesn't live up to standard, send it back and make sure that those that produce it are aware of that. Get your money back or get some sort of store credit or something like that. Now, those 4 rules meant my family went from 50 bags of rubbish a year down to 3 bags of rubbish a year. 3 bags of rubbish per year 7 years ago. So over the last 7 years, we've thrown out about 21 bags of rubbish. Could be 20, could be 22, 23, something like that. Over the last 7 years combined. Why do I not know whether it's 21 or 22? Because I just stopped counting, because it's just so little. Now we don't throw out any bags of rubbish, but that's a different reason. It's because my neighbour who's got a wheelie bin, they see that I've literally got a bread wrapper of rubbish that I throw out a week, and they're like, just throw it in our wheelie bin, it's nothing. So now I don't even have to throw it out. It was a bit tricky at times, because when you're only throwing out 1 bag every 4 months, you have to freeze a lot of the meat stuff, the meat scraps. They won't go in with the worms. So I'd put them in the freezer, because you don't want to leave those out for 4 months before you throw out a bag of rubbish, because it takes you 4 months to fill up the bag to throw it out. Okay, but let's go into the benefits. And just on the meat scraps, because meat scraps became a real pain, I started eating less meat just because they became a pain. Now, you might think those 4 rules sound painful. They're not. A lot of good things came out of it. I lost a lot of fat. My body composition changed. We threw out way less rubbish. We started to save quite a bit of money, not just on the rubbish we weren't throwing out, but on a lack of waste and everything like that. Threw that money into shares, which over the last 7 years has done pretty okay. We didn't want to just throw that money into shares. We just added more money. Why not? If you're throwing something in, might as well double up on it and stuff like that. All these benefits, and they were completely unintentional or unexpected benefits, because all I was looking to do is just reduce our household waste. Came out of that, and the big key benefit was feeling like I was in control. It meant I was just doing a whole bunch of smart stuff I didn't realize I was doing. Food had to last a little bit longer, so I was checking dates on things as I was buying them. Because I was buying a lot more fruit and vegetables, and they don't last as long as ultra processed foods, if you can call ultra processed stuff food. That's another debate for another day. I was checking dates on things, so I was getting smart in terms of the stuff I was buying. It meant I was going to the supermarket instead of once a week. I may be going twice a week, but I was getting less when I went. And actually I moved, there was a period of time I moved right away from supermarkets. I only needed supermarkets for stuff like toothpaste and toilet paper and stuff like that. I was getting my fruit and veggies, which was the bulk of what I was eating, from a farmer's market. Since moved house, not close to a farmer's market. But it all works out. But those 4 things, and it was just those rules: buy clean. Anything that comes in packaging, make sure it's recyclable, so you don't have to throw it in your bin. You can throw it in through the recycling. Soft plastics is a big one. Take up your soft plastics recycling. Keep all your soft plastics, compile them, and when you're going for a drive past the soft plastics where you can drop them off, get that done. So buy clean, recyclable packaging, have somewhere where your food scraps can go. And some places have bins that they collect with food scraps. Make the most of that. Yeah, okay, it can be a bit icky and mucky or whatever. I mean, harden up, come on. Once you've done it for a couple of weeks, you're used to it, right? I mean, going down to the worm farm, putting in the scraps, and thing is, it's not smelly. I lift the lid up, the worms everywhere. I love those suckers. If there's 1 or 2 worms that get outside the bin, I just like put them back in. I don't want to lose any worms. And when I shut the lid, I make sure all the worms are safe. Yeah, I do. And I make sure the bin doesn't, the lid doesn't chop them in half, where they've sort of gone in between, where the lid, falls on the main part of the lip around the bin. I take care of my worms. I love those guys now. Guys in general. So that's it. It gave me massive feeling of control. I was buying things with purpose. I was stopping to buy stuff like the ultra processed because the other thing too, the ultra processed food, I wouldn't put in my worm farm because I was like, they don't deserve that rubbish. And then I was like, well, why am I eating that rubbish? So many things that all I wanted to do was reduce my household waste, but so many benefits came out of it. I can't count. Benefits for me, benefits for my worm farm, benefits for my wallet, my body composition, buying better, saving money, investing the money I saved. I just can't believe the benefits that have come out of just that one thing. And this is not the first time I made this video. And I get a lot of comments. People go, oh, I should do something like this. And they don't. They don't, by and large. So only a couple of % subscribe to the videos I put together. And I would say a smaller percentage do this thing. This is one of the 2 biggest things I can offer you. This is the biggest thing in terms of feeling like you're in control. Because for some strange reason, when you're controlling the amount of waste you throw out, there's a whole bunch of stuff to the left and the right of the waste, like the purchasing decisions and everything, that all fall under that gambit of control, that umbrella of control. So you start to feel like you've got a lot of control all over the place. It's a weird feeling. That's one thing. The other thing is a mantra I have, which is be your own coach. So don't make your decisions. This is where people's discipline falls down. Be your own coach. If your coach was to make your decision for you about what's best, you know your coach will be honest and say, nah, you shouldn't do that, you should do this. You shouldn't eat that, you should eat this. So all you need to do is be your own coach. Don't make the decision, throw it to the coach inside your head and go, if I was coaching me right now, what would be the advice I give? And that's the advice you follow. I'll do a whole another video on that. But those are the two big things. I'm going to put together a lot of videos. But this one around the reduction of waste and all the unintended benefits, that was the word I was looking for before, that has come out of it, that have been so significant, and be your own coach, those are the two biggies. In fact, why have I even shared them? Why have I even shared them? Because I've written a book, and the book is coming out. I'm going to say soon, maybe by the end of the year, on all of this stuff. Just chapter after chapter after chapter, think of it like a menu of all these things you can do, but don't do them all. You choose a couple. And anyway, I'll talk more about it later. I will talk more about it later. Let's wrap this. Quick summary. If you want, you might not even be into waste reduction. You might not be, a greenie or an environmentalist or anything. This video is not about that. If you want to feel like you're in control, something you're absolutely in control of, it's, I think, a great place to start is controlling your household waste. So look where I started. We looked at what we were throwing out and we were asking, how can we replace this? So, packets of ultra-processed muesli bars became apples of style. What is there in fruit that we haven't tried for a long time that we should really treat ourselves to? And we tried a whole bunch of new fruits, dragon fruit and just, not the stock. Oh, I love apples and that will be my stock standard. But give yourself permission to try new things in the fruit and veggie or anything that doesn't come in packaging. Just try it. And so we replaced one for one. Still had our treats, but it wasn't an over-processed, over-sugared muesli bar wrapped in a plastic that wasn't recyclable, or even if it was a pain, in a box, and the box was coated in that glossy stuff that's not good for anyone, all of that. Replace it with a piece of fruit. Boom. Okay, that's it. Environmentalist, greenie, whatever, doesn't matter. Do this for control. This is a story about feeling like you're in absolute control of something, and a whole bunch of stuff, it emanates out from that one thing, reducing your waste. Any questions you've got, throw them in the comments below. If this is helpful for you, there's only one way, or if you do this one thing, we are even, and that is hit subscribe. Boom, you've paid for the video. Hitting subscribe and the buttons just below is free. You hit subscribe, you've done me a favor. I've done you a favor, you've done me a favor. We are even. If you've already subscribed, all the stuff, we're still even. Cash in the rest. All right, thank you so much for watching. More videos to come, but that is what I'm sharing with you today. And it is one of the two big things out of all the things I'll share with you. Take care, and I'll catch up with you in the next one. Boom.